All right, so in these problems, they are going to give you the answer. When they give you the answer, divide by pi. When they give you the answer, divide by pi. So, for example, find the diameter and radius if the circumference is 25.12 inches. Find the diameter and the radius if the circumference is 25.12 inches. Now, this is super important. For the last week, I've been telling you to write down what every time?
A equals, no.
C equals,
Write down the formula. Good. So the first thing we're going to do is write down the formula. All right. Now, in this problem, what did they tell you?
find the diameter and the radius, and then they told us the answer.
They told us the answer. So we're going to put 25.12 under C. Why do we put it under C? That's what it equals, right? The circumference is 25.12. So we're going to do this problem backwards. So instead of multiplying by pi, we're going to divide by pi. And so I'm going to mark out this pi. Ooh, that's ugly. And I'm going to put divide by pi. So in your calculators, do 25.12 divided by 3.14. 8 equals. Now, this is where in a minute you're going to mess up if you don't write the formula. What letter is left?
D.
D. So we're going to bring it down. So 8 is our what? 8 is our diameter. And so that means 4 is our radius. That is correct. Easy peasy?
Yes.
All right, so y'all do that one. Find the diameter and the radius if the circumference is 37.68. I'll give you a second to do it, and then we'll talk about it. It knows what to do. Tell me what you did. What did we do? Go, Chloe.
So I wrote down the formula, which is C equals pi d.
Okay.
Then I wrote down what they gave me, which was 37.68, and I divided that by pi. And then when I divided it, I got 12, and then 12 equals that diameter, and 6 equals the radius.
Good. So when you divide, you get 12 equals the diameter. The diameter, remember, is all the way across the circle. So to get the radius is halfway. What do we do? If we know the diameter is 12, we divide it by 2. Now I have a question. Is it 12 inches, 12
Feet.
And how do we know it's feet?
Because it says feet on the 37.68.
Good deal. So that would be 12 feet, and that would be 6 feet. Okay, so now on area, you're going to do the same thing, but area has one more step. So write this down. A equals pi r squared. All right, so we are going to find the diameter and the radius if they tell us that the area is 78.5 square centimeters. All right, so where do we put 78.5?
Under A.
Under A. Our first step in going backwards is to what?
Divide by pi.
Divide by pi. So I'm going to mark it out, and I'm going to divide by pi. So in your calculators, do 78.5 divided by 3.14.
25.
78.5 divided by pi is what?
25.
All right, now, a while ago, somebody asked, why do we got to write the formula? Here's why you have to write the formula. Because if you look on the other side, what is still left? Radius what? Radius what? Squared. All right. So, do we have the radius by itself yet?
No.
Okay, so what this means, and sometimes you'll be able to do it in your head, and sometimes you will need to use the calculator. What this means is if you take the radius and multiply it by itself, it's going to give you 25. What number times itself gives you 25?
5.
Okay, if you did not know that, grab your calculators. Here's how you use the calculator to help you. Do 25 and then hit that square root button. It is in red, the second red one.
There's a lot of
The top red one. It looks like a funny divide sign. It's the second one on the top row. You know, you put the number in first, and then you hit that. So when you do 25 and you hit the square root button, what does it give you? So 5 is our radius. Is the radius halfway or all the way?
halfway.
If the radius is halfway, what is the diameter?
10.
It is 10. Are we good? All right, try this one. If the area is 50.24 square yards, find the diameter, find the radius. All right, what are we going to write down first?
50.24. Or
A equals pi r squared.
A equals pi r squared, then what?
Then you would say 50.24 under the A, and then you divide by pi,
Divide by pi is always your first step going backwards.
which is 16.
Is 16 our radius?
No, that's the diameter.
Is 16 our diameter? What is 16?
Four is the radius.
It is the radius squared. So what number times itself is 16?
4.
4. If you didn't know that, you do 16 and you hit that square root button in your calculator. And when you do that, that tells you that the radius is what? 4. So if the radius is 4, the diameter is 8 yards. Y'all got it? Easy peasy? All right, now grand finale. Grand finale. Here we go. This is the whole enchilada. If you can do this, there is nothing on area and perimeter, on area and circumference that you cannot do. So the hardest problems they can, and I say hardest, they're not hard, but it's the most detailed. The most detailed problem they can give you looks something like this. If the circumference is 43.96 millimeters, find the area. So you're going to go from circumference to diameter, from diameter to radius, and from radius to area. So it is like an epic escape room. You just got to do one step before you can go to the next step. So start off with what they gave you. What did they give you?
Circumference.
So what does that tell you to write down?
C equals pi d.
C equals pi d. Then what do we do?
Then you would put 43.96 under the C, and then divide by pi.
Divide by pi. And when you divide by pi, what's it give you?
14.
Gives you 14. Now, for those of y'all wondering why we got to write the formula, this is why. This is what it's been building up to this whole week. What is left on the other side? D. If you did not write the formula, you would probably mess up right there. So now, what do we know? We know the diameter. What do we need to know to find the area? The radius. So if the diameter is all the way across, what's the radius going to be?
28.
Nope.
No.
7. You cut it in half. So now, hold on, let me pause right there. So now, are we ready to find the area?
Yes.
How do we do it?
You write the formula down with 7, then you write
What's the formula?
pi r square.
Good.
And then you write down 3.14 and then put in parentheses 7 and then 2
Squared.
squared.
Now you're ready to use your calculator. How do you put it in your calculator?
7 times 7 times 3.14.
And 7 times 7 times pi is
153.86
millimeters or square millimeters?
square millimeters.
Why squares?
Because it's area.
Area is always in squares. Good. That's it. That's as hard as it will get. Or I won't say hard, but that's a level 5, high 4 or 5 circumference and area problem. Okay, that if you can do that, then you got them all.
What's the highest level?
That's the highest level problem they can give you. Are we good?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome.